Magandang araw mga kamanlalakbay at muli, welcome sa isa na naman pong edisyon ng ating Usapang K. Isang episode na naman ito ng pakikipagtalakayan sa mga espiritual na pananaw at mga kwentong kapupulutan ng aral. Simulan po natin ang ating programa sa isang panalangin. Sa ngalan ng Ama, ng Anak at ng Espiritu Santo. Amen. Panginoon, marami pong salamat sa lahat ng biyayang inyong ipinagkaloob sa amin. Maraming salamat sa inyong regalo ng buhay sa amin. Ngayon po ay aming pagninilayan ang isang napakahalagang aspeto ng aming buhay bilang mga Kristiyano, ang pagiging masunurin. Masunurin sa inyong mga batas, masunurin sa inyong mga utos sa amin bilang inyong mga anak. At ganun din po, Panginoon, maraming salamat sa regalo ng bukasyon na amin din pong tatalakayin ngayong gabi sa pagkikwento ng ating mga kapatid na pumili ng landas upang maging single at blessed sa kanilang buhay. Panginoon, gabayan niyo po kami ngayong araw na ito at nawa ang aming programa ay maging inspirasyon sa aming mga kapatid, lalo na sa mga nag-iisip sa ganitong uri ng pamumuhay. Ito rin po ay nihingi namin sa ngalan ng ating mahal na Birheng Maria na gumagabay sa atin. Siya na modelo ng pagsunod, siya na modelo ng pananampalataya hanggang sa huli. Hinihiling namin ang lahat ng ito sa ngalan ni Kristong aming Panginoon. Amen. Sa ngalan ng Ama, ng Anak at ng Espiritu Santo. Amen. So muli po, magandang araw mga kamanlalakbay. Nandito naman po tayo sa isang episode ng Usapang K. Ayan. So bago po tayo magsimula, we will try to introduce ourselves. So para po sa ating mga tagapakinig, ito po yung first time na tayo po ay magkakaroon ng episode na mix ang language. So usually, we have it in Tagalog, but now we will have mix Tagalog and English because we have special guest, Brother Pao, di ba? For the first time. So this is history in the making in the program.
It will be. At matetest talaga ang English skills natin ngayong araw na ito. No?
Yes. Kaya alam ko excited na rin marinig ng ating mga tagapakinig. So siguro, let's introduce ourselves first. So first with my co-host. So wala na naman po si Father Dexter at wala rin yung ating mga kasama mga...
sila Brother Den, tsaka si Brother
Brian, yung mga seminarista natin. They had to attend the Episcopal ordination of Father and Bishop na pala, Bishop Napoleon si Palay Jr.
And congratulations po kay Bishop Jun Sipalay sa kanyang elevation to the
bilang bishop. Ngayon lang tayo ulit nagkaroon ng bishop after a long time na Dominican, Dominican. I think the last one was Bishop Salazar, and of course we all know Bishop Legaspi,
yes,
diba? Pero after a long time, we just now nagkaroon tayo ng Dominican na bishop sa ipagdasal po natin si Bishop Jun Sipalay na aking novice master pala so in my formation he was my formator, so siya yung aking novice master, and then naging prior provincial namin siya, and ngayon syempre siya tinatawag sa isa na namang parte ng buhay, pagkapari at pagsisilbi sa ating simbahan, na palagay ko next time pwede natin siyang imbitahan din.
Pwede siya umuburi.
Oo, pag-usapan naman natin yung tawag sa pagiging isang obispo. Pero ngayon, ito'y parte pa rin ng ating series ng vocation, yung mga vocation talk natin. Sige brother pa, magpakilala ka muna and then pakilala rin yung ating mga kasama dito.
Magandang araw po mga kalakbay. Again, si Paolo Alvarez po ito from the US, from the Santissimo Rosario Parish UST, at ako po ay taga-Sokom. So mga taga-Sokom dyan, magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Okay? Sa ating mga guests ngayon.
Magandang araw po. Ako po si Irish, 25 years old. Ako po ay taga-Angono Rizal.
Yes.
Magandang araw po. I'm Federico from Paraguay, a missionary in the Shalom Catholic community. I am 27 years old.
Okay.
Good day, everyone. I am J. from Brazil. I belong to Shalom Catholic community.
Yan, sa mga tagapakinig natin from Brazil, ang ating bisita from Paraguay, and from napakalayong lugar, Angono, Rizal. Very far, no? The farthest.
The farthest.
Art
Oo.
capital of the Philippines.
Oo, ang Angono na art capital of the Philippines.
Actually, napakalaya kasi nga sobrang traffic.
Oo,
Literal.
ngayon kasi no, and anywhere in the Philippines, na it becomes far because of the traffic. No, yung travel time natin. So, anyway, Brother Pao, no, at sa ating mga guests dito. So, our topic na pag-uusapan po natin ngayong araw na ito ay tungkol po sa buhay ng single blessed. Na, 'di ba, Brother Pao, maalala mo ano yung mga naging topic na natin dati, kung maalala mo, regarding sa ating vocation series ng Usapang K.
Nagkaroon na tayo dito ng mga bisita dati, no? Yung mga naging madre, yung mga naging seminarista, yung mga former seminarista, no? Halos
Pare.
kompleto na, no? Pati pare,
Oh,
kompleto
religious and diocesan.
na. Diocesan. Ngayon po,
Kasal. Mga
ay oo, nakaraan sila Brother
Ayan,
June, tsaka si
Brother
Sister
June
Malu.
and Sister Malu.
Oo.
So, ngayon, no, para makumpleto na natin yung mga vocation, traditional na mga vocation natin sa Catholic Church, nag-invite tayo from Single Blessed. But to make it, to have a jumping board for that topic, naalala ko, Brother Pao, when we were conceptualizing this topic,
Yes po.
we were talking about the spirituality of obedience, di ba? Obedience. So, I was, the inspiration actually came from our readings po ng fifth Sunday of Lent, no? Kasi yung ikalimang linggo ng Adbyento, no, ito ay tinatawag din nating Passion Tide, Brother Pao.
Yes,
Can you tell us something about Passion Tide at saka yung mga tradisyon na ginagawa natin pag Passion Tide?
Naalala ko yan kasi, di ba, ng isang araw, binigyan mo ako ng task, no, sa ating Facebook page na bigyan ng katisismo yung mga tao regarding sa kung bakit, no, tinatakpan ang mga poon. So, ang ikalimang linggo po ng Quaresma po, or yung fifth Sunday of Lent, ay tinatawag pong Passion Sunday. Pero may iba rin po ang ginagawa nila, yung tawag nila sa huling 2 linggo ng Quaresma, ito yung Passion Tide na tinatawag. Ang ginagawa ko dito, tinatakpan po natin, no, ng lila or ng violet na mga cloth, no, o tela, yung mga poon, yung mga altar, no. Actually, ito ay matandang tradisyon na ng simbahang Katoliko. Pero nung na-research ko, no, ang sabi doon nagmula daw ito, no, o nag-originate ito sa mga Alemanya, no, o sa bansang Germany, no, kung saan umpisa pa lang ng Quaresma, tinatakpan na nila ng tela, no, na kulay lila, no, yung buong altar para ito yung tinatawag nila fasting of the eyes, no, para maramdaman nila kung ano talaga ang esensya ng Quaresma, no. So yun po yung Passion Tide or yung Passion Sunday na tinatawag. Sa Pilipinas, ginagawa din natin ito, no, na every fifth Sunday tinatakpan natin. Kasi, di ba ang sabi doon, bukod sa nag-originate ito sa Germany, nag-inadapt, na marami nang gumagawa, dahil din sa Gospel of St. John, no, it is on the chapter 8, no, chapter 8 of the Gospel of St. John, wherein ito yung time na pinahayag ni Jesus ang kanyang sarili na hindi ko nagustuhan ng mga tao, no. So may balak, yung mga tao ito, may balak siyang batuhin. Subalit si Kristo ay nagtago, no, dahil hindi pa po niya oras. Hindi siya nagtago dahil siya ay natatakot, kung hindi lang talaga niya oras pa iyon, no. Yun.
Oo, no, so ako din, no, nakapakinig din ako nung isang katisisim, no, na binigay ni Father Jojo Cerudo, no, and yun nga yung kanyang topic, no, kung paano si Kristo ay nagtago, no. At ganun din naman, no, sinasabi doon, may dugtong siya kasi primarily tinatakpan yung mga crucifix, no, yun yung sinasabi natin, nagtago si Jesus, pero tinatakpan din natin yung mga imahen ng mga poon, no, kasi nga sa paniniwala na hindi pa nabubuksan yung kalangitan, di ba? Kaya nga yung tanong nila noon, paano yung mga matuwid na namatay na hindi pa ipinapako sa krus ang ating Panginoon? Saan sila pumunta? No, sabi ni Father Jojo Cerudo, napunta daw sila dun sa Hell of the Fathers, ang tawag niya. Kung maalala natin yung parable ni Lazarus at saka yung rich man, yung rich man, no, napunta dun sa impyerno, pero si Lazarus ay napunta sa bosom of Abraham, no? At yun ang sinasabing parang hell of the fathers, no, na mayroong mayroong lugar na kung saan sila ay nagpunta lahat At maaalala natin nung namatay ng ating Panginoon at muling nabuhay, siya ay bumaba sa impyerno, di ba? He went down to hell, no? And then para hanguin itong mga tao na mga matutuwid, yung mga saints natin. So sa old liturgy, kapag ka Easter Vigil daw, no, hindi ko na ito inabutan, no, pag Easter Vigil, maalala natin, nakapatay lahat ng ilaw sa simbahan, no, pag sisindihan siya pag Gloria, no, doon daw, isa-isa daw na tinatanggal yung takip, no, ng mga santo, and then it's like telling us na sila ngayon ay malaya na at sila ay umaakyat na sa langit. No, napakagandang alaala sa atin at pag-asa sa atin ng ating pupuntahan din. No? Kasi ngayon, kung minsan yung mga tao parang nabubuhay na wala ng langit at walang impyerno. Di ba? Hindi na natatakot no, sa mangyayari sa kanila after ng kamatayan. No? Parang yung sinasabing, live and be merry for tomorrow you die, no? And then after that, that's it, no? Pero sa atin po bilang mga Kristiyano, bilang mga Katoliko, no, tayo naniniwala sa buhay na walang hanggan, no? Tayo naniniwala doon sa habang buhay na yung pagpapala o grasya sa piling ng Diyos at yung habang buhay din na kaparusahan, no? Na nalalayo tayo sa Panginoon na tinatawag nating impyerno. Yan. So Brother Pao at saka dun sa mga guests natin, no? Siguro simulan natin ito sa discussion about obedience, no? Yesterday, no, yung ating 5th Sunday of Lent, no, napakaganda ng readings natin from the prophet Jeremiah and then from the book of Hebrews up to the gospel, no? Kasi they all talk about obedience, no? We all know that the laws, no, were given by God to Moses to govern the Israelites, especially during their travel from Egypt to the Promised Land. And yet, no, there are times that the Israelites did not follow, no, the will of God. They even challenged God and they complained, no, why they were in the desert to be killed, etc. And we see later on, no, how they were punished because of that. But God relented, di ba? And still, through the intercession of Moses and the prophets, no, sila ay nakapagbalik loob sa Diyos. No? Kaya nga, yung mga propeta, lumilitaw sila sa history ng Israel upang paalala sa tao na magbalik loob. No? Yun yung tawag din ng Kwaresma sa atin, magbalik loob. At doon sa unang pagbasa kahapon, no, ganito yung nakasulat, no? Ganito ang gagawin kong tipan sa Israel, itatanim ko sa kanilang kalooban ang aking kautusan, isusulat ko sa kanilang mga puso. Ako'y magiging kanilang Diyos at sila ang magiging bayan ko. Hindi na nila kailangang turuan ang isa't isa upang makilala ang Panginoon, no? So, dati, no, syempre ibinigay yung batas, pero ngayon sinasabi dito sa propeta Jeremias, isusulat sa kanilang puso, no, yung mga batas, no? At ang Diyos ang magiging Diyos nila at sila ang magiging mga anak, di ba? So, and then sa second reading naman natin, napakaklaro from the book of Hebrews, no, sinasabi rito kay Kristo, no, bagamat siya'y anak ng Diyos, natutuhan niya ang tunay na kahulugan ng pagsunod sa pamamagitan ng pagtitiis. No? So, even if He was in the form of God, Jesus did not deem equality with God, no? But then, was very obedient. No? And we see here na yung pagsunod niya, no, sa pamamagitan ng pagtitiis, no, suffering. And then later, in the Gospel of John, napakaganda rin nito, sabi rito, dapat sumunod sa akin ang naglilingkod sa akin at saan man ako naroon ay naroon din ang aking lingkod. So from mere obedience, now we can translate obedience as service, diba? Paglilingkod. And I think that was the highest form of obedience that God gave and Jesus gave to the Father actually to offer His life. We see in the events of Christ's life, especially in the Garden of Gethsemane when He was praying before He was delivered to death, that if you, oh Lord God, if you could take the cup away from me, but not my will, but your will be done. So I think that's where we could get the inspiration of obedience. Not my will, but the will of God, even if it is painful for us, no? Even if it is difficult for us, even if it is seen as weird no, by other people, no? But we believe that it is the will of God that we follow. No? Probably, Brother Pao and our guest, no? What is your concept of obedience? Yan, sige.
Maybe we can start with our guest.
Okay, we can start with MJ. Obedience. When you hear obedience, no?
For me, obedience is a grace of God.
Okay. It's a grace. Okay, as a grace, no, when you say grace, no, it's something given. So not everybody.
Yeah.
Can you give an example when you became obedient
Oh my goodness.
in your life? Or?
Oh yes. In my life. I am authority here in the Philippines, but I have another authorities above me,
Yes.
and I need to be obedient every day. I need to be obeyed, yeah, because my authorities is represent for me God.
Yeah, so the ultimate authority, no, is God. So you have superior, your authority over you, no, even if you are the one. But as an authority here, do you like just order your members, or how do you practice authority in your
Oh my
community in Philippines?
Okay.
Yeah, like Frederick and the others who are
Yes.
members.
I try every day to be a sister between others. Because for me, authority is very important, yes, but authority is a sister, is a brother also. And I think my brothers and sisters need more my behave, my testimony of them, my order.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, it's very good, no, what MJ pointed out, that the authority is more of seeing others as brother or sister. Okay, Frederick, can you feel that in the community
yes, I can.
when MJ is the superior?
I can add some things. One thing is also really very important in our community. We always talk about this, but the people who have this position of authority is always very clear. The community always says there is a position of service.
Service.
It's not that they are above everyone. No, it's not that, but they are in the service of everyone. So that's something similar that you said before, right? Obedience is a way of service too, right? So you can say that, for example, she said that she just wants to be a sister between all of us, and she is, but it's a way also to be a family, right? Because as missionaries, we are our own family because we are away from our blood families. Right? So in one way, she as our authority, she's responsible of the mission here. She is, yes, a mother of all of us. She's the service of taking care of the mission, taking care of all of us. But she is also a sister in the middle of all of us. So it's always this family ambient, you can say that.
How about Irish? When you say obedience, so Irish po ay Pilipino naman, no? So pwede siyang magtagalog. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin? Ano ba translation ng obedience sa Tagalog?
Pagsunod.
Obedience, yeah.
Mga pagsunod, no?
Sa akin po, ang sinisimbolo ng pagsunod o pag-obey is love, respect, and sacrifice.
Wow, love, respect, and sacrifice. Ayan. Ano bang ano nyo? May example ka ba naiisip?
Kasi po, habang bata pa naman po ako, no, bilang isang anak, napaka-importante na sumunod tayo sa magulang natin. And yun ay sign ng pagmamahal natin sa magulang natin. At the same time, respeto. Sacrifice sa part ng, ako po kasi ay meron akong desire. Nung una gusto kong maging isang Dominican.
Wow, talaga? Maganda nga kwento mo nga yan.
Gusto ko pong maging isang Dominican. Pero
Madre or lay or...
sister po.
Dominican sister? Wow.
Pero ngayon po ay nag-discern po ako sa congregation
Sa
po
Shalom,
nila,
no?
sa Shalom.
Mamaya, they will be talking about the Shalom community, no? Para at least malaman natin kung tungkol saan yung Shalom. Ayan, sige. Anong congregation na sister?
Yung Shena po.
Siya na sisters. Ayan, so mga hello sa ating mga sisters from the congregation of the Dominican Sisters of St. Catherine of Siena. Ayan, sige. No, I think maya-maya po aalis lang kasi yung ating MJ, no, has to go in a while, no. So before she leaves, so probably can you give us some message, no, that you would like to tell our listeners, no, especially those who are thinking of joining the Single Blessed life, no. What could you tell about that life?
Okay. I have been celebrating for 50 years.
Wow, 15.
Yes, 15. And I am very happy with God's choice. Yes, because it's God who calls to celibacy. The celibate in the Shalom community is an intercessor. He is a spiritual father or mother. A celibate is someone who has a lot of love.
Wow. So unlike what they think, no, that the reason why you might have entered is because nobody loves you or because you don't want to love others, but in reality, because you have too much love to give, to a particular person, probably you want to share the love more to a more number of people. Yan, correct. So we thank MJ, for joining us,
you.
but I think the two others will be staying with us to discuss about the Shalom community. Now, thank you very much, MJ, and we hope to see you again in other episode of Usapang K. Ayan, sige. So, as MJ was saying, she used the word celibate, so probably now we can at least talk about what the Shalom community is. Now, by the way po, tayo po ay nag-imbita ng isang community. They are missionaries. Probably Frederick could tell us more about it.
Yes.
And part of their charism or part of their life is yung pagiging single, yung sa choice nila.
Yes.
Sige. So, what is the Shalom community?
Yes. We are something that the church calls the new community. We are not a congregation, we are not an institute, but we are a community of lay consecrated people. In this, between our members, we have priests, we have celibacy, and we have families, people who get married too. So, for example, MJ that just lived, she has 23 years of missionary life in our community, and she has 15 years as celibacy, that she said before. And as she said that the celibacy is a call of God. So it's God the one who chooses. He is the one who called. So for some of us, we decide, for example, MJ, she decided to give her life in the service of the church, in the community, in the evangelization, as a celibate. So she decided, for love of God, for love of His will, to be a celibate. What that means, to be married with God, to preserve herself only for the service of the kingdom of heaven, in other words. But also inside our community, we have families, people who get married, have children, etc. And also we have priests inside the community, as a missionaries too. For example, here, Irish, she's now in the process of discernment, vocational discernment. So she maybe can be the first Filipina. Pray for her.
Wow! Sige nga, Irish, what made the community Shalom attractive, kumbaga? Ano yung nakita mong kakaiba or bakit gusto mong maging member ng kanilang grupo?
Ganito po kasi yan.
But before that, you mean to say you don't have Filipino members yet. So
Not yet.
Irish might be the first one. Ayan, sige.
knows?
Who knows? Yeah. With God's grace and our prayers.
Si Lord po kasi mahilig mag-sorpresa. May mga bagay po ako na gusto kong gawin or meron po akong sarili kong plano. Pero si Lord po ay meron din sarili niyang plano para sa akin. So yung plano ko po, hindi po yun mangyayari kasi talagang yung, kung ano po yung will ni Lord, yun po yung mangyayari talaga sa akin. Nakita ko nga po kanina, nag-search in po ako sa Dominican. At talaga naman pong gusto ko din maging madre. Gusto ko magsuot ng velo, gusto ko magsuot ng habit, magdasal. Pero kalaunan po, nung na-meet ko po sila, andun po yung curiosity ko na ano bang ginagawa nila, paano ba sila naging mission. And doon po ako nag-start na kilalanin ang Shalom. And habang kinikilala ko po sila, doon ko po na-discover na lahat ng mga bagay na ayoko po, yun po yung gusto ni Lord na gawin ko. For example po, number 1, ayoko nagta-travel.
Wow.
Kasi maliban sa meron akong trauma dahil ang Rizal po ay medyo traffic. Yung tipong dapat 1 oras, 2 oras lang po na biyahe, naging 3 to 4 hours.
Wow.
Ayun po, yun po.
So ayaw mo nagta-travel,
Ayaw
pero...
ko nagta-travel. At pangalawa po, ayaw ko din po kumakausap ng mga foreigner.
Okay.
Kasi yun nga po, maliban sa iba yung culture, laging Pilipino ang nag-a-adjust mag-English.
Okay.
Ganun. Pero aside po doon, talagang ako po ay introvert. Ayoko pong kumakausap talaga ng mga bagong tao. Kasi ang weakness ko po ay...
At ngayon kumakausap ka sa radyo ng maraming tao.
Dahil ang weakness ko po ay kumilala ng bagong tao at ma-attach sa tao. Tapos aalis, ganun po. Yun po yung pinaka-ayoko. And pinagdasal ko po kay Lord na, Lord, bigyan mo ako ng lakas na ma-overcome ko tong mga bagay na ayokong gawin, na gusto mong gawin ko. And doon ko po na-realize na yung pag si Lord pala nagbibigay sa atin ng dasal natin sa ibang paraan, yun pala yung gawin natin kung ano yung ayaw natin gawin. Kasi yun yung magpapatatag sa atin. Na ayaw mag-travel, pero dinadala ko ni Lord na, ay hindi, mag-missionary ka. Kailangan mo mag-travel para mag-preach sa mga tao. Ayun po, yung mga ganong simpleng bagay po, dinidiscern ko po paunti-unti. Hindi naman po agad-agad ang pagdidiscern. Need po ng mas maraming time, ng mas mahabang proseso. Kasi sabi nga po ng isang pare, the more na minamadali natin, the more na nagkakamali tayo sa mga desisyon natin. Kaya po, ngayon po nasa proseso po ako ng pagdidiscern sa Shalom. And nawa, sana po, dito na po ako nililid ni Lord.
Anong mga gawain sa Shalom yung na-attract ka? No? Kasi I believe in the community, no, they have different... Ano ba yung mga ginagawa doon?
Kasi
Kumakain lang ba kayo? They just eat or what?
Kung i-compare ko po sa religious, siguro medyo na ano po ako sa way ng pagdadasal ng Shalom.
Yung the prayer life.
Opo, kasi 2 hours.
Wow! What do you do in 2 hours?
Doon sa 2 hours po na yun, nagdadasal po kami. And at the same time, nag-aaral po kami ng Bible.
Lectio Divina.
Opo.
Lectio Divina, which can be another topic
Opo.
next time. No? But is it every day that you have the
Every
prayer?
Every day we have 1 hour of Lectio Divina and 1 hour of personal prayer. And during weekdays, we have 1 hour of community prayer also.
Doon ka ba nakatira na sa community? Or
Hindi po, every week lang po or may...
every week you visit the
Opo.
community. Ayan. Brother Pao, tanong ka ba?
Wala, pino-form ko siya. Kasi kanina, gusto kong itanong sana, no? Na, di ba, minsan kasi sa buhay natin, kagaya, introvert kami parehas, kaya tahimik din ako dito.
Baka naman kailangan ka rin mag-shalom, bro.
Sana, no? Pag introvert ka kasi, di ba, minsan, madali kang mag-isip kasi tahimik ka, no? Yung, ang dami mong what ifs, no? Ang dami mong what if. What make you talaga, parang, sige, push ko to. Kasi minsan, alam mo yun, wag na lang kaya, no? Kasi ayaw mo nang tumalon sa another phase na ganyan na very challenging na sa'yo, no? What make you decide na, sige, lakas loob na lang to, no? Hindi na ako uurong. Paano? May ganun bang instances na nararamdaman ka nung nag-uumpisa ka pa until now? May ganun pa rin ba?
Opo. Kasi parang na-realize ko, kailangan kong lumabas sa comfort zone. Kasi the more na nag-i-stay ako, ito lang ako eh. Kailangan meron akong ibigay. Kasi parang sa pagiging mahiyain ko, ako po actually yung pagiging mahiyain ko ay sobra. Kapag kinakausap po ako, ang sagot ko lang ay oo, ang sagot ko lang hindi. Hindi po ako sumasagot ng kagaya ngayon.
Na nagkikwento.
Opo. Kumbaga parang lumalabas na lang po yung ngayon.
Kasi minsan no, sa ating mga introvert, para tayong mga diesel, pinapainit muna bago talaga gumana ng gumana. No?
Opo.
How about you, brother Frederick? No? You came all the way from Paraguay.
Yes.
No? So how did you learn about Shalom?
Shalom, yes. Just as a resume that you explained, before knowing the Shalom Catholic community, I was not Catholic. I was actually atheist.
Atheist,
Yes,
okay.
atheist. Yes. So I knew the community because I had one classmate that kept inviting me, go to the prayer groups in the Shalom community, go and so one day I said, okay, I will go because I'm too tired of her inviting me every time. So okay, I'll go. So shut up. Something like that. So I went to the prayer group. I really like it. I actually have a deep experience with the love of God in that first prayer meeting. So I said to myself, no, okay, I will keep coming for 1 month to see, right? To see what else is happening here. So in a resume, I start just participating on the prayer groups. I started to have a deeper experience with the love of God. I started to pray. I started to believe that God is real, actually. So in this process, I started to ask God what He wanted for me. So in this time, the vocational discernment year started in my country. So I participated in this process. So during this year, I recognized that God has a specific vocation for me inside of the Shalom Catholic community. So I start this process of going forward, the voice of God that is always guiding us to discover His will and to try my best to do it.
Where have you been in places before
yes.
coming to the Philippines?
Yes, my first years in the community was in Brazil. Actually, the first year in my postulancy was in Fortaleza. There is the mother house of our community where everything started, because our community has only 42 years old. Started in Brazil. We have already the approval of the Holy See. We received this in the SAR status. We received it in 2012.
What kind of group are you? Like a lay
Lay consecrated.
lay consecrated.
Yeah,
Okay, that's how you call the group, no?
Yes, new community.
Canonically.
Canonically, we're association of
Association of Faithful.
Yes.
Okay. So yung pong mga nakikinig sa atin, alam naman ninyo lalo na meron tayong tinatawag na canon law, no, yung pong batas ng simbahan, at may iba-ibang tawagan pa yan, no, Brother Pao, no. Hindi ko yan expertise. I'm not an expert in
Also.
canon law, no. Probably later we can have another episode for that. No, meron yung religious, meron yung lay consecrated, no, meron yung public associations, no, meron at kung ano-ano pa, no. So their group, no, they call it how do you call the
Shalom Catholic community.
yeah, the
Association of Faith.
Association of Faith. Yan. So yun po yung kanilang grupo. So you were in Brazil, you were saying?
Yes,
Okay.
I passed the first year my postulancy in the Fortaleza. The second year in the formation house there in the same region but in another city. And after that I went in mission to Brasilia, that is the capital of Brazil. I spent there 3 years where I did my first promises in the charism. And after that I came here to the Philippines. I'm here for 2 years already. And as I was telling Father before, I'm now going to participate to the other branch of our community, so I will need to go back to Paraguay. So it's
Wow, so you will be leaving soon.
Yes,
So as Irish was saying, no, she doesn't want I hate goodbyes. Paano yan, Irish?
It's part of missionary life.
Yes.
Yeah, I think no, it's something that you have to accept. Kasi as Irish was saying, the Irish that she knew before, no, yung pagiging introvert, no, yung nahihiyang makipag-usap sa mga tao, and then yung hate goodbye. So these are the things now that she's embracing as a member of the Shalom, di ba? So, it's really the grace of the Holy Spirit, no, and God working in your life to be able to do, although sabi mo nga kanina, you said the things that you do not want, di ba? As we have read here from the book of Hebrews, no, sabi dito, yung bagamat siya'y anak ng Diyos, natutuhan niya ang tunay na kahulugan ng pagsunod sa pamamagitan ng pagtitiis, di ba? So, yung mga bagay na kung minsan ayaw nating gawin, di ba? Doon pa tayo tinatawag ng Panginoon, no? At ngayon, no, yun yung ginagawa mo, diba? Sacrifice. So talagang that's it, no? It's really sacrifice. So we can say obedience really entails sacrifice, diba? Sinasabi nga nila, you cannot really say that you love if you do not hurt or you do not sacrifice. So sa atin, we can rephrase it like you cannot really say that you have become obedient, no, until you have sacrificed, no, and you have also experienced hurt. Yan, no? So by the way, Frederick, now you were talking about 3 years of the promise and all. Could you tell us, kasi mga kalakbay, no, mayroon pong invitation. Actually, the Shalom community also are involved in the parish, dito po sa Santissimo Rosario Parish. From the time that they started to be active here in Manila, they are in Cubao, no? And that was before pandemic pa, na that the first group actually coordinated with us, collaborated with our ministries here, especially with the youth, no? And ngayon, most of those already left. Only one was left, and he is inviting for his definitive promise. So that's how they call. So what are these stages in your formation, like promise and vow? No, what is the difference between?
Just to correct myself before, we call ourselves like International Private Association of the Faithful.
International Private Association of the Faithful.
Yes, in the canon.
That's it. That's how they call themselves, International Association of
International Private
Association. It's a private association.
Yes, we have some different things because we are not religious, so we are not a congregation, right? So, for example, all of the members, we do promises in the charism. So we do promises of obedience, chastity, and poverty.
Oh, the three supposed to be vows of the religious, you have make them as
promises for all the members. Exactly.
Okay.
All the members have these promises. Even the people who get married, because the chastity promises will be, it depends of the personal weight of life that will decide that. So it's not the chastity of the consecrated, of the people who have vows, celibate. And so that's why inside of our community we have the promises in the charism to live according to the status of our charism, and also for the people who wants to be celibate, want to the celibacy life, or want to be priest, they also have the vows. So they also have vows of poverty, obedience, and chastity to live these private, public vows, right? Inside of the charism Shalom as celibate people. For example, MJ have definitive promises, as I said, and perpetual vows are ready.
Perpetual vows of the celibate.
Celibate. So she is celibate for
life.
Now, for life. Exactly. It's not like because we were talking about this. There are some people who call themselves single blessed, but they're not vowed. They are just single. But when they fall in love, okay, not single blessed anymore, we'll get married. So it's different because we have these vows, the compromise responsibility in the church too, in the community. So about the process, right? I was talking. We have these promises when first you enter in the you do the discernment year, as she's doing now.
How long is the discernment?
It can be at least 1 year.
Okay, at least 1 year discernment. Okay,
yes,
and then
myself I did 2 years actually. But it depends of every person. So after that you will live at least 1 year of postulancy. After that, at least 2 years of discipleship that we call the formation time, because we're
When
not...
is the time that you will be living already with the community? Like,
Since the postulancy.
for postulancy, you already live with the
Yeah,
community. So,
yeah,
for example, like
exactly.
Irish would decide to become postulant, she will live inside the community.
Exactly.
Okay. The community here in the Philippines is in Cubao.
In Cubao, New Manila.
Ayan, New Manila
Exactly.
under Diocese of Cubao, no? Bishop
Exactly.
Ong Tioco.
Antioco,
Ayan. So,
Bishop Ness.
after postulancy and then...
The discipleship, that is like
Discipleship.
the novitiate for the religious, but
Okay.
because we are not religious, we need to change the name, right?
Yes.
So we call it discipleship. So don't get
Discipleship.
the people confused, right?
Mm-mm.
So discipleship for at least 2 years, and after that we have the first promises on the charism that we call the consecrated, right? We start this process. So we start the first temporary promises, and we repeat the temporary promises for 5 years, at least 5 years. And after that, we do the definitive promises, where it's like we marry with the charism, with the community. So after that, there is no way back, we can say that way. So this is the promises. As I say, the MBA already have the definitive promises and the perpetual vows. The vows for the celibacy, they also have the temporary, so they repeat for 4 years, and after that, they can do the perpetual vows.
Wow, so probably it's like 12, 13 years or 14 years until you are
Actually,
finished.
10.
10 years.
Because the perpetual and the vows and the promises, you can do it at the same time.
Okay. So, para po sa mga nakikinig, no? So, yung promise, no, it's the temporal and then the definitive promise to the charism, to the
Yes,
charism, okay?
occasion.
But then, in addition to that later, they will have a vow na, no,
Yes.
the vow. So, that is the one about celibacy. So we just go back no to the topic of single blessed, as Frederick was saying a while ago, no, that sabi nga natin, not all single persons can be considered single blessed in a sense, because they do not live a blessed life in a sense, because napaka-promiscuous. They are single and yet they have a lot of relationships,
Yes,
di ba?
it's
So
not the same.
it doesn't necessarily mean that you are single, that you are living a single blessed life. No? And then at the same time, in their community, it doesn't mean naman na if you do the definitive promise, not everybody does the vow, right?
Yes.
So some of them, like probably Frederick, no, later on can still get married,
Yes.
tama? Because you do not have the celibacy
yes, because
vow.
I'm not celibate, exactly.
Yeah, so they have two groups. No, the single ones who will become celibate, and then the other ones who are geared towards married, because the founder is married.
No, the founder is celibate.
Celibate. Okay.
Yes.
The name of your founder
Is
is
Moses Acevedo.
Yan, Moses
Brazilian.
Acevedo. So he's a lay
Lay celibate.
celibate.
Yes.
Ayan. So
Public
but
vows.
they have the branches, no, like the married,
Yes, this
priest.
is exactly.
Yeah.
Inside, for example, I can other time I can explain it. But
Yeah.
we have the priesthood. Yes, all the between all the members, we can choose to be priest, we can choose to be celibate, or we can choose to get married.
Married.
To form a family inside of the community too. So we also have families that are missionaries. They don't stop the missionary work, even with a husband or wife and kids.
Ah,
the
they can
kids
still be
are
missionary.
Also missionary.
Wow.
So they go to school, everything normal. But if the parents are transferred to another mission, the kids go together.
Wow. So aside from the life of celibacy, now we also talk about missionary. No?
Yes.
So talagang napakadaming. Oo, no? And I think your group no is quite contemporary, no,
Yes,
and
yes,
modern, because not all of our listeners have that idea, no, that
Yes, yes.
I can be a married person belonging to a community and even becoming missionary pa pala. Brother Pao, no, napakaganda.
Be part of a spirituality, a vocation inside the church.
Irish ikaw, anong parte ng branches?
You want-
Nakikita mo?
You want to read about
Malalaman po natin
celibacy?
Oo, but I think, no, how do we understand celibacy? Is it like, not, kasi sa mga pare, of course, celibacy is simply not getting married, right? So, yun. Sa iyo ba? Ganun din?
Getting married with
Opo.
God,
Opo.
Jesus.
Oo.
Oh my God.
Para bumalik ka na doon sa introvert na opo at saka hindi po na lang.
Nagkahawaan kami.
Oo nga, kayong dalawang introvert
Napapatigil.
Great
So, ayan ayan, dala-dala po nila yung kanilang constitution. Ayan, sige. Sige, pabasa. Ano ang...
Talking about the celibacy.
Ayan. Ano po ang celibacy? Ayan.
Pinagbasa.
Yan, sige.
Their offer is a sign of their total, exclusive, unconditional, and unrestricted giving themselves to God, to the deployment of His kingdom, to the community, to the church, and to all mankind. In the spirit of our vocation.
So, I think these are very good words. Total, exclusive, unconditional, unrestricted. No? Giving themselves. So, grabe
Totally,
pala.
totally
Total,
total.
no?
Okay.
So, these are public vows,
Yes,
Frederick. So, sa ating pong mga nakikinig, no, there is a right, no, for public vows for those who would want to have single blessed life. No, I think I heard about it before, no, kasi originally we were looking for someone, no, at tamang-tama pala na Shalom community, it's really part of their na community nila na mayroong public vows na yan. Siguro pagka nagkaroon tayo ng time ulit sa canon lawyers, i-take note natin yung mga tanong natin about public vows.
Pero naalala ko, no, may mga nangyayari noon, no, na mayroong public profession of celibacy, no? Hindi lang sa mga lalaki. So may mga babae din, no?
Yes.
I mean, prior to maging madre talaga, no? They profess themselves to be perpetually virgin, no? Or perpetually celibate, no? Hindi sila mag-aasawa. They are all for God. I don't know kung ngayon meron pa bang ganon mga profession, no? Sa panahon ngayon na, I mean, medyo mahina ang vocations natin. And then, Father, may ganon pa ba ngayon?
Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina, no, kasi I heard before that there is that right, no, and I think ginagawa yan, no, talagang ginagawa siya sa loob ng simbahan, within the mass, no, mayroon talagang right na they profess publicly na their vow for celibacy, na hindi sila mag-aasawa. Ayan. So,
Are these people, no, are they restricted only to religious people? Yung mga...
Hindi. No, kaya ngayon yung difference nila, and I think that is what the Shalom community is here for, no, because their group really is lay, no. Yan ang nila, it's the laity. And maganda nga talagang malaman ng ating mga kababayan kasi I think nowadays, because of the our thinking that we have a lot of options, no, in life, especially the youth, they have a lot of options, di ba? Isa yan sa pwede nilang makita sa religious life, no, na it's not just becoming priest, no, katulad nga sabi ni Irish, not just becoming a religious sister, becoming a lay, and then still becoming missionary, no, and also celibate, di ba? Kaya nga ang ganda-ganda ng ating topic na yan. Pero well, if we say single, no, yun yung kaninang tanong ni Pau, no, ni Brother Pau, bago tayo magsimula ng programa. Ano ba talaga yung ibig sabihin natin pag single or celibate? Ano ba yung tingin mo, Pau, sa single, ganyan? Di ba ngayon, sasabihin, anong status mo? Single. Is it enough to say that you are single dahil wala kang boyfriend, girlfriend, walang asawa, pero, or status siya na single, na hindi ka married, pero meron kang mga partner, ganon?
Medyo sa akin yan, no? Medyo hindi ko pa siya masyadong maintindihan kasi ako, I consider myself single legally, no, by status, no, in government. However, I have a partner, pero kasi I'm still, I don't know if I'm still considering blessed singleness pa rin yun.
Yun, ganun.
Oo. Kaya tanong kita kagabi or kanina ba yun?
Kanina.
Kanina na sabi ko, ano ba yung single blessedness na tinatawag? Exclusive lang ba to talaga sa wala ka talagang
Na dapat
partner?
wala kang partner.
Or pwede ka naman partner pero hindi ka ikakasal.
Yeah.
No, pero you still retain that single status na in a technical way, no, in government view, no, na single ka. Ikaw?
Irish, may ano ka ba doon? May anong idea mo doon sa yung kasi when we say single, status siya, di ba? Pero there are some who are single na mayroong in a relationship. Can you still consider them single o kailangan talaga yung married, no, para masabi mong hindi na siya single?
For me po, kasi nung hindi pa po ako nag-explore sa mga religious, sa mga kagaya na to, ang pagkakaunawa ko po sa single blessedness, yung kagaya po na sinabi ni Kuya Paulo na ikinakasal sa Lord, na parang ibinibigay na yung sarili as a celibate. Parang yun yung pagkakaintindi ko po sa
Single blessed. Oh. So,
Na
yun ang
magpapakasal ka
difference
ng single,
niya.
wala kang
Oo.
boyfriend.
So, parang single blessed ka, parang kahit parang nagpapakasal ka pa rin, pero kay Lord.
Kay Lord,
Yun ang
oo.
ano.
Kaya one time po may nakita po ako sa social media na nakasuot pa rin siya ng white dress.
Pangkasal.
Pero kay Lord siya nagpapakasal.
Talaga?
Opo.
Paano, ito ba yung sinasabi natin kaninang public vows?
Not sure po, pero
Oo.
yun po yung naano ko po sa single blessedness. So iniisip ko po yun, paano kaya maging single blessed na?
So, so kailangan din talaga just to be considered that is, yun, magkaroon ka rin ng vows, parang
Vows, oo.
gano'n, I see.
Siguro yung talagang importante doon pag sinatawag ng single blessedness, kailangan may vow ka talaga.
Yeah.
No, may profession ka
Hindi
talaga.
lang yung
Oo.
parang, it's not just growing old na, in the Philippines, no, for women, meron tayong tinatawag matandang dalaga. And then for the men, matandang binata. No? And these ones, no, the matandang dalaga, matandang binata, no, kung minsan makikita mo, bugnutin. No, kaya nga, there are times they are so irritable. No? Those who are single, old men and old women, no, they are irritable. Kaya kung minsan, if you are already in your 40s, di ba, at wala ka pang asawa, nasasabi ka, ano ba yan? Parang matandang binata naman, di ba? Or matandang dalaga. No? So, you can say na probably in this chosen vocation, there are a lot of challenges as well. No?
Yes, of
Like,
course.
what challenges have you encountered in this kind? Si Irish or si Frederick, how long have you been in the community again?
Community is 7 years.
7 years. So you already did your definitive
Not
promise?
yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Temporary.
Temporary promise. Ayan. So what challenges have you encountered? Like the view of other people, for example, when they learn that you are in a community like this, that you are lay, single blessed living like that, and you can have celibacy or what? How do they view you?
Actually, I'm not single blessed.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just single by the government. But I also different because as a missionary, as a part of the community, I don't have partners or anything like that. If I have one, I will stop to be single. Still have, like, for example, a girlfriend, and for the future maybe get married, right?
But now you have
But
girlfriend.
Now I'm not. I've
You're single now, single,
exactly,
okay.
exactly. But different from MJ that she is celibate.
Celibate. So really, she will not get married.
No, get married or get any kind of partner.
Oh.
As we read before, that is exclusive.
Exclusive, restricted, and
Different.
total.
Exactly.
So, sorry, in your case, you're opening your door to the possibility of
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I'm because
They have
it's
a
also
choice.
a discernment, right? It's also a discernment that we do. So during the years, I was discerning about this state of life. God, you want me to get married? God, you want me to be a priest? You want me to be a celibate? Is this the right question? Would you want me, or I want you? Accept now. Is what do you want God for me? So normally in this process, God talking to me for prayer and hearing His voice in my heart, He called me to a marriage life. So to be like this testimony of holiness inside of a marriage life, right? Because it's important to. So you was asking about difficulties.
Difficulty or challenge or problems.
Right? Yes, I think the first one that I can notice was also the different cultures that I was visiting. Because I'm from Paraguay, my first years were in Brazil, so it's a different culture,
Different language.
languages. Also because I speak Spanish from my country, but in Brazil they speak Portuguese. So I
Portuguese.
need to learn Portuguese to evangelize, to preach, to talk to the people. And now here came to
Philippines.
Philippines, another culture, another
Language.
Yes. So, for example, I didn't learn Tagalog yet. So they are talking here and just understanding some words here and
The
there.
body language
Yeah,
and
but exactly.
the smile.
Exactly. But this is one of the challenges, right? To embrace the new culture so you can be as Christ did, right? Because Christ embraced the humanity, making Himself equally to all humankind except for sin.
Correct.
So this is the one challenge that all of missionaries have, to embrace the new culture, to be one of them, but not embracing the sin of the culture, because every culture have their own sins, for you can say. So it's one challenge that we have, especially the languages here, right? So I need to learn English to actually improve my English, so I can talk to you now, and also to learn some Tagalog words, so I can communicate with some people. Really, some words.
You just use
Very
po.
good. Yes.
Put po in everything.
Oh, just put po. It's okay.
Oh, no. So I think that's a very beautiful point that Federico said about how missionaries should be really like following Christ, embracing the humanity, the culture, the language of the people where they go. And even for us, even for priests, I think it all goes back again to obedience.
Yes,
I remember
exactly.
one inspiration that we had for this, although hindi naman ako magmamarites, pero there are some priests, for example, in certain dioceses, whenever they have assignment change, from one parish to another, especially if the parish is not that rich, you will really hear priests complaining and even accusing the bishop, for example, of not being fair, etc. So where is the obedience there? Because actually for the priest, one of the vows that they take, at least even for the diocesan, is obedience to the bishop.
Yes.
No, could you imagine that? One of the vows that they have is obedience to the bishop, and yet the first instance that the bishop would tell them to go from one parish to another, they would refuse. No, diba? So, hindi ba yun disobedience? Sa amin din naman, hindi naman nagmamalinis, pero even in religious life, the Dominicans, for example, we only have the vow of obedience, because we believe that all the other vows would follow. Because if you obey the rule, in the rule, there is chastity there is
You're
poverty,
connected, right?
So it's the highest form of offering that you can give. Your will, because we are basically offering our will to God. Sabi nga natin, not my will, but God's will be done. And it's very painful, because you would always want to put yourself, your foot forward, to be in the spotlight, to be the star, to always want to choose for your own. Something that probably our generation, younger generations do not understand, di ba? Irish, ikaw ba naka-experience kanyan? Sometimes they feel like they are rebellious to their parents because they think the parents are controlling them so much. And I think it also boils down to that following, in yung obedience natin. Meron ba tayong mga hindi na pag-usapan? I think ang bilis-bilis ng oras, Brother Pao. It's already 1 hour.
Pero going back na kasi di ba the whole duration of this topic is really about obedience, no? Tanong ko lang, is blind obedience ba? Is it a blind obedience if we follow the will of God?
What do you mean? Well, when you say blind obedience, siguro, it's like you just obey without questioning, or
yes.
obey without thinking, Kasi what makes us different from cult, for example, the cult, for example, the leader tells them, do not cut your hair. Everybody will not cut their hair, out of their obedience. Or everybody wear white. And then everybody will wear white. But what is the difference between a cult and us, a religious group like us who profess obedience?
I think one thing that is important is the discernment, right? And
Yes.
also because we have all the teachings of the church, the magisterium, etc. Because, for example, if one authority come and say to me, go and sin, I know I cannot, because above her is God, above her is God. So I will, with discernment, you need to understand it. I know that if one authority asks me to sin,
It's not from God.
It's not from God, so I will not obey. But that's the thing. The authorities need to have discernment too.
Correct.
So this blind obedience, as you said, it always needs to come with discernment, because maybe now my authority will ask me something that I don't want, but it's important for the evangelization, it's important for the church, it's important for the community, but I don't want. What are you going to do? Complain? No, in this moment, I need to use the blind obedience.
I think, yeah,
Because-
it's not really surrendering your reasoning. No? You
Yeah,
can still use your reason. No? You do not become one. That's the difference between the cult. The cult, they just follow and everybody is uniform. They think the same, they act the same. But for us as Catholics, as religious, now, yes, we do have the vow of obedience, but it does not remove our uniqueness. No, it does not remove our rationality that we can think for our own, what is good or bad. And what Frederick was saying, the discernment of really listening to the will of God. No? And of course, we know that the superiors, when they become superiors, of course, they are given that authority, no? And then wisdom. No? I believe in that, the
Yes,
wisdom
of
of the superiors. And for us to trust and have faith in our superiors, it's like really following the will of God. But then again, for us, we also have our own. Would you believe, even for us religious, now when we are given the assignment, still the superior would be talking with us, no, with dialogue with us, with have discernment with us. Do you really want, or etc. No, and then you can still say no. No, you can still say no respectfully. No, given the right reasons, no, like what Frederick was saying, sa kanya kasi kanina sabi niya kung papupuntahin doon with the right reason, why not go? Okay, and then for us siguro, you may respectfully decline with particular reasons talaga na makikita natin, no? Diba? Parang gano'n. So, I think, Brother Pao, no, baka
It's
tayo
already
nag-extend
time,
na
no?
tayo ng 1 hour. So,
1 hour na.
as we, the practice that we have now, nakita natin again, no, 1 hour is not enough. So, probably we can have a part 2 or part 3 for obedience. Ayan. So, a final word. So, it has been a practice here in the program to give, you think of one word, no, that you think would, you remember, no, during our episode that you want to stress or focus. And then that's the final word for our listeners. Let's go first with Frederick.
Okay.
What word do you think?
I would take the word obedience. I would describe it as also like an act of love.
Okay. Act of love.
The obedience being an act of love. And this, and putting everything what we talk inside of this, also, if you hear the voice of God, you learn how to hear the voice of God. For love, you will try to obey. And this, you need to be really attent, because maybe, who knows, you are called to be a celibate, or to a single blessed, something like that. So in this act of love, of obedience of God, like Jesus did, we are called to follow Him in the ways that God called us to. So the obedience is also an act of love.
For those listening, no, could they search Shalom on Facebook?
Shalom Manila.
Okay, Shalom Manila, yan po, no. So, doon po sa mga nakikinig, no, kung mas gusto ninyong malaman pa, baka tinatawag kayo sa ganitong buhay, no, you just search Shalom Manila. Ayan. Irish, ano yung final word? No?
Ang akin po sa buong napag-usapan po natin, ang tumatak sa akin is yung will of God.
Will of God.
Will of
Okay.
Kasi parang lahat naman tayo meron tayong mission at purpose sa mundong ito. And kagaya po ni Father, tsaka ni Brother Federico, kumbaga parang ako po ay nasa discernment process. Yun po yung pinangahawakan ko, yung will of God. Kasi kung will ko lang po, hindi ko po itutuloy ito.
Wow, napakaganda. Brother Pao.
Ako, connected naman siya sa obedience, but this one is humility, no?
Yes.
You have to start yourself to be humble for order to you to listen and to obey.
Yes.
Of course. Obedience not the easiest task in the world, because there are rules, there are given to you, no, to follow, no, and because obedience in Christ, no, obeying the rules of God, obeying to the commandments of God will not be easy, but we have to follow, because God does, hindi naman tayo bibiguin ni God, no, sa mga tinuturo niya o kino-command niya, no. So Jesus himself practiced the discipline of submission, no.
Yes.
And that submission, nandoon yung obedience niya to the will of God, no. So,
Wow,
yun.
napakaganda po ng ating mga final words. So sa akin siguro, kukunin ko na lang dun sa binabasa nating readings kanina, no, yung salitang pagtitiis, no, at paglilingkod, no, kasi ito yung mga signs natin ng pag-o-obey. No? We experience how difficult it might be to obey sometimes, no? Pero ito yung paraan, no, ng Panginoon mismo, no, na inalay niya yung kanyang buhay at yung paglilingkod, no, service natin sa ating mga kapatid. Ayan. So, muli, no, maraming salamat po. Natapos na naman yung isang episode natin ng ating Usapang K at sana po ay follow nyo kami, no, dito sa ating Radyo Maria page and also Santissimo Rosario page. And then yung ating pong Spotify and YouTube channel ng ating Usapang K. No? So, muli po magandang araw sa ating lahat. At isa na naman po itong episode ng ating Usapang K. Puputulin mo na doon.
Yes.
Okay, sige.